One.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Okay, and now we're live.
And my phone just said 10% battery, so yay.
Great.
Yeah. So, okay. So,
Alright,
want to start off
you
with
ready?
day one?
Yeah, let's start with day one, I guess.
Okay. So, day one is the 7th.
Yeah.
So, instant activity / warm up. I put jog around the gym, follow in, which is the circle thing that we did. Grab partner,
Mhm.
toe to toe, one hand on head, one hand on knee, and then that's how they're going to split into groups. So their warm up's just going to be jogging around the gym, just getting their blood pumping. The intro is just talking about what we're doing today. So like the 3 taps, tip over, and net recovery, just like a brief description of what each of them are. Um, the lesson focus, I just put that 3 taps is bump set spike, where your proper hand placement for the tip over, and then how to dig and actually get under ball after it hits the net.
Right.
So the fitness component could be like heart rate, so check during or before and during the lesson. And then assessment would just be, I put 2 of them, so I put motor would just to be see how quickly they catch on. Or we could do a bump set spike drill to see how well they catch on or how well they caught on.
Yeah.
And then I put cognitive would be to their reactions for how they would either bump set or spike it whenever it comes back to them.
What do you like?
So
Like what do you like?
what
What do you mean
they
by that?
like what they think would be best. So if I toss it up high, what would they do instead? Like would they just hit it with a bump or would they try to set it, you know?
Oh, okay, okay. So like making proper decisions when the ball's in
Right.
there.
Right.
Okay.
Um, and then the closure for day one, I just put just as they're stretching because I really want them to start stretching out throughout the whole. I mean, after I would like to stretch after playing a lot, so I feel like that would be what they should do, and then we can ask them questions about either if they have any questions or like what they learned today. So like, what is the 3 taps that you can use? Kind of stuff like that.
Okay.
Is that how everybody's plan was?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, you two are the only
that's
ones who would
pretty.
have made for that day, but
Right, no, I'm saying like for the other days, like that's how y'all's.
right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Like
So,
basically, I just put in whistle mixer for my startup because I didn't know whether or not we were doing like our students as a kindergarten class or as like a sixth
well,
grade
remember what
because like
she said? She wanted them to start off at, I think it was 6th grade, and then to
5th grade.
become
Yeah.
oh
5th
yeah,
grade, and then become 9th grade
right, okay, yeah,
volleyball
Yeah.
players.
gotcha.
It's like 215 is the elementary. This is middle. 221 is middle school.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay,
So
so who had day 2, which
Uh,
is the 9th?
Me and James have day 2.
Right.
I guess James, are you still driving?
Yeah, but I mean, I pretty much have everything memorized. So I mean, we could, like I said, I still want to talk to Miss Connie. Cause like I said, I guess I messed up and did when I misinterpreted what she was saying about like you can switch out lessons.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
I think I may have misinterpreted that because like I said, I did my plan on bump set spike. So I just want to talk to her to see if
Lucy.
that's feasible or do I need to go ahead. I've been reading up on the other one about the match play and whatnot. I just need to know if she's gonna allow a switch of skills. I can talk
Right.
about I can talk about the lesson plan, the structure of it, but like I said, that could be something to change. So you can go first. Like I said, I just fill in.
Well, I mean, it's basically focusing on the same thing. Like, so really, we don't have to teach it the same exact way because we are supposed to be teaching two separate lessons anyway. So, right. But I'll go ahead and explain mine. Then for my instant activity, I put like get them to run around the gym and just like just to get them to like warm up and stuff, and then stop them, but not put them in or like separate them into two groups, and then do like a circle volley. So like where you just stand in a circle and like hit it back
Yeah.
and forth. That
Yeah.
way it kind of gets them having to like hit the ball in different directions because they can't just hit it across from them straight across the whole time, or like they
Right.
won't get to hit it if it's coming from a separate direction, because like the lesson focus for this is directing pass, and then beginning and playing through a match. So and then my intro would be like split, like keep them in the two teams or whatever, and like just to sort of start explaining exactly how a match goes, like explain like how to, in order to do like a whole match, you have to win so many games and stuff like that. Like it's not just one game. And then like fitness component, I guess, would be like we could do like step counts, because you're gonna have to move around a lot when you're playing a match. So like while they're starting and learning how to play a match, maybe watch and see like how much they have to step, and also like the heart rate to check in to make sure that they're actually getting their workout and stuff. Assessment would be like, I guess maybe basically just the observation of their skills while they're trying to play through the match. They probably won't get through the whole match just because it's in the beginning still. So just like watch and go slowly through the match and see how they're hitting, like if they're making the right decisions, if they're hitting to the right spot and stuff. And then like for my closure, I just put answer any last questions that they had about how to play a match, and like stretch and just explain what the next class is going to be about or something.
For your circle volley game, which you can do, I don't know like how specific you want to get into it, but like for my coach, we do progressions when we do like little games like that. So you start out with the first progression, which will mean you're only allowed to like pass just with your platform like out in front of you, and then you could do like even a second progression and bring in, okay, you can only pass platform, but now you're allowed to do this also. And then even if you want to, you can go into your third progression and add in maybe a downward hit. You know what I'm saying? A
Right.
tip, a roll shot. I mean, they won't really understand roll shots or spikes. We won't really do spiking yet because like it's really hard for a beginner to direct a ball anywhere they want to. So we can basically just worry about, like, you can bring in for the second progression, like basically setting, and then for the third progression, tip balls. That way we can keep practicing skills and incorporate them in the games also.
Right. Okay.
And for day 3, there's spiking in day 3, so it will be included the next time. So if you want to start like making sure that they have the right form during
Right.
that time, so like make sure they start tipping, like he said, just so they can start like, I guess, I don't know, have that motion.
Yeah, have the idea of putting a ball downwards instead
Right.
of allowing the ball to go back up.
Alright.
Um,
All right, good.
so I had day 3. Well, me and Alexa, actually, I think. Alexa, did you want to talk for this one, or?
Okay. I'm not. I feel like I didn't do mine right. I don't know. For my warm up, I have like warm up laps, dynamic stretching,
Yeah.
and then I have like a passing setting. And I don't know if we want to do spiking drill. It's just like you stand like 10, 15 feet apart and just kind of pass it back and forth and then set it back and forth, or just like spike it at the ground, and like after the bounce, the next person catches it, and just kind of do that back and forth. I don't know if we should do that or not. If or just because do you guys plan on doing any spiking on day 2?
Well, day 2 doesn't have spiking as like the lesson. Like I don't have spiking as my lesson focus, and so I wasn't planning on touching on spiking a lot. But like they said, I was gonna like start introducing like tip over and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure was one of your lesson focuses spiking?
So our intro, yeah, the lesson focuses for that day is bump set, overhand serve, and spiking. So I feel like what we should do for like a warm up, I guess, or like an intro or something is I read something in the book where you put your hand, one of your hands that's not hitting the ball up in the air, and the other one's just like without a ball, just like hitting that hand, just so you know to get that high, just to have like that motion, for like an overhand serve. Because I think that we have to teach them how to overhand serve and spike. I don't know if they're already going to be taught this. So I feel like we need to like teach proper hand placement, proper hand like how to flick your wrist whenever you're spiking, um, instead of like doing your full on like.
Well, do you know if what like the days that we aren't teaching? Do you know what
Miss Laverne to be teaching?
teaching? Because maybe doing that. I don't know. Look it up.
Hey, what is it like? What all do you have to teach within lesson 3, like within day 3?
Lesson 3 is bump set, overhand serve, and spike.
Oh, okay. So like, you could probably like, wait. Say it again. Say it again. I'm sorry.
It says bump set, overhand serve, and spike.
See what I'm saying? Like,
Okay, well they'll have skills of bumps and sets already like in their head, and they'll have some kind of understanding of what it is. So I don't like you could probably do like a quick little game to touch up on it, like just to make sure that's still there and it's in the lesson, but enough like we'll talk with Miss Connie too and figure out how much we need to incorporate within the lesson.
Yeah.
And then you can actually focus like because with you teaching overhead serve, it's gonna carry over into like spiking because like it's the same motion. You have to have a high arm. You have to get your shoulder back that way you can go through it, and it's the same way for serving and spiking both. The only thing difference is with serving, you follow through and you kind of pick a target, and then with spiking you follow all the way through and you put the ball downwards. You know what I mean? So like.
Do you know did you read what Miss Connie's teaching in the first 2 days? Is she teaching how to spike?
I haven't read what she's teaching. Where does she have it at?
It's on Google Calendar.
On Google Calendar it says, what day is that?
So that's going to be tomorrow and Friday.
Forearm set serve. It's like forearm pass, roll, shuffle, roll. Midline shirt drill, toss shuffle, partner toss shuffle, a bunch of, I don't know. Then Friday is volleyball receiving serve and rotation.
Okay, so nothing about spiking. Well, so we're going to have to teach them how to spike correctly.
Okay.
Right, but the good thing is they'll have somewhat of a technique from serving. Like that's going to be in their heads, and they're going to be able to use it. Well, I don't know because I have a feeling Miss Connie is going to like before each lesson, like sit them down and say, hey, let's act this way today for this lesson. So I mean, we'll just see how it goes. If that's the case, then I mean, even if that's the case, they should still have somewhat of memory of a serve. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Right. So we might actually have to get with you, Cody, about how to actually properly spike, just so that we don't teach them wrong.
Right.
So like.
Yeah, and I'm gonna need some drills from you, Cody. Just like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
For lesson, just to get the input.
You talking about for day 2?
Yeah, I got day 2.
Okay, just like. Basically, what y'all could do anytime like y'all need a drill, like a specific drill on like a specific skill, just send me what skill y'all need, and I'll find something, as soon as I possibly can and send it right back to you because I worked a bunch of team camps over the summer, and we did a lot of like little fun small drills here and there that were quick, incorporated the skill, and then moved on right after. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right. Good
I
transition.
right, yeah, and I wrote a lot of them down because I knew it was going to help me. Didn't think it was going to help this much, but it will. Um, so y'all, if any skill, just shoot it to me, and I'll figure it out for you.
All right, good deal.
Um, so day 3, going on that. So I put as my lesson focus was like proper hand and shoulder placement um, for flicking the wrist rather than following all the way through. Wouldn't you rather flick your wrist to spike it rather than to do all the way like arm movement, right?
Trying to figure out how it finish. No, like usually,
Like if you're at the net, I feel like isn't it better just to flick like
all right, like okay, if you're tipping, it's wrist. It's all wrist. Anytime like you're
okay.
tipping, because you go here, 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 there,
Yeah.
back. Anyway, but anytime you're spiking or serving, it has to go into your shoulder. And if it's your shoulder, you have to make sure that you have a high elbow. When you have a high
Okay.
elbow, it helps you. It helps you, like I don't know. It's not like I don't know. Your hand-eye coordination goes a lot better when your arm's already up there, in
Okay.
order for you to get your hand to the ball, because a lot of people will miss that ball. But as far as wrist goes, your wrist should be pretty firm. Like when you're spiking for sure, when you're serving for sure. Because like you have to be able to, like you said, you have to follow through. Um,
Okay.
when we get into spiking though, the biggest thing is going to be hand contact. Like what's really important about hitting the ball is you have to get all of your hand on there. Like
Okay.
if you can make the bottom surface of your hand, like every bit of the bottom part of mine touch the ball every time you hit, you're gonna
Yeah.
have perfect contact every time, as long as you follow through with it. It's something like I still struggle with it. Like I can't get my hand properly on the ball. It's a means of just at the right timing. So that's what I think you should focus on more, is trying to get their hands completely on the ball. And you can even bring in like a small drill, or even like basketball dribbling. Like bring in something that is kind of like that, and have them hold the ball like this, and then knock it out of their hand, and try and make that full contact just going down, and get them used to the feel, and then bring it overhead. You know what I mean?
Okay. Gotcha. Um, I'm used to playing basketball, so I'm used to like I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that.
No,
So
I
it's
got you. I
different.
got you.
And then uh, practice footwork in proper position. So instead of jumping off of one foot, you want to jump off of both feet. Um, and when you're serving it, like how you want your feet placed for when you're serving.
Right.
Um,
All right. Usually when you serve, like when you serve and when you spike, there's like an approach type deal of it. Um,
yeah, like the 1, 2, and then jump,
yeah,
kind
one,
of.
two, up. Right. Exactly.
Okay.
For serving, it's different because some people don't like jump when they serve. It's just not natural for them. It doesn't feel right. And then some
Right.
people just go straight off the ground, like they can just right off their shoulder and go into it.
Okay.
So it's really just a feel type thing. Um, but I think it's going to be better just to go off of not jumping at all during
Right.
serving.
Yeah.
So what you can do to focus on serving is like you put your I'll show you like more in detail, but like it's like you would step with your non-dominant foot first.
Yeah.
Or wait, hold on. You
Yeah, it's
step
your
with your dominant
non-dominant.
foot first. No, you step with your dominant foot first, and then you finish out on your dominant again because it's a three-step motion. So it's just like it's kind of like you step once, like say with me, I would step with my right foot, then left, and then as I'm stepping my left, like the ball should already be in the air as I'm stepping on left. Like, and
Right.
if you want to focus when you're serving, like they need to start like this because this is the most simple way to learn how to serve. Like you start ball here, and then we're gonna have to teach them tossing too because like
Yeah.
that's hard. And that another thing on that is like when you toss, every time you toss a ball to yourself,
On
your
what?
thumb has to be in
You coming in front?
because anytime your thumb is outward, you turn your hand, so it makes
Okay.
the
Up to you,
ball.
baby. I was just
Yeah. So whenever day 2 is match play, um, if you can teach like serving rules too, so like can't you let it go up in the air and if it's not right, you can let it come down, you can do it again or no?
I'd have to check on it. Like I think that's correct, but I gotta make sure because I'm not really sure. I haven't seen that
Okay.
in a while. So
Um, okay. That's what I was just gonna see if we can just like kind of incorporate in that time. But
but yeah, like I mean, we're just practicing. So like if they don't feel comfortable with their toss, like you can spend time. Hey, just toss to your right footer. Like
right.
this is
So that can be a warm up. That could be part of the warm
yeah,
up.
actually yeah, like you could even incorporate it into like the beginning, like you said, like the warm up. Like you can just be like, all right, class, when I blow my whistle, I want you to go grab a ball, and I want you to toss it from your non-dominant hand to your dominant shoulder, and it needs to
Yeah.
land in front of your dominant shoulder, and I want
Yeah.
it done 10 times, and I will watch you. Like basically like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that could be part of our. So my warm up that I had put for day 3 was to walk, jog, and slide the lines of the court just so they can start having where the lines of the court actually are. Um, I guess it's just. I guess is it just a It's just a rectangular. Like there's no like first line,
Yeah,
second line.
well, all right. They have inline, which is the like where you serve at, and then
Yeah.
they have the midline, which is like where the net's at. Then they
Okay.
have the 10-foot line, which is the one that the setter, like how where the setter's
Yeah.
box is.
Yeah.
That's the 10-foot line, and then you have the two sidelines, and that's it.
Okay. So there's
But
really
yeah,
not
right.
much to do for that. I mean, I guess we could just try to get it all, like get their blood pumping, but I feel like the toss up is more important than
Yeah, you
the.
could like what you do to bring in like the lines. You can be like, okay, class, this is the end line, this is the 10-foot line, and this is the mid line. I want you to do like just for a warm up. I want you to do a jogging suicide from the end line to the mid line, then back to the end line to the 10-foot line, and then back,
Yeah.
and that's your warm up. You know what I
Okay.
mean? That way they get like, and you got to change it up on them. That way they understand the different lines. You know what I mean? So
Right.
instead of just going instead of going to the 10-foot line first and then back, make them go past the 10-foot line, and then make them come back, and then go to the 10-foot line. That way they
Gotcha.
have differentiation. Is
Yeah.
that
Gotcha. Cool. Um, and then so assessment for that one. I guess just like watching them throughout the whole time. Like you can't.
Yeah, like I mean, there's not going to be much you can test on because it's still early. So,
Yeah, because they're just learning it. So just to see if they toss it up properly and if they have the right shoulder movement.
yeah,
And then closure again is stretch and then have questions for those.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're like the only way you can honestly test that is like, let's see who can put it over the net, and then that brings in people getting discouraged and getting their feelings hurt because some won't be able to get it. So,
Okay, day 4 was me and you, Cody.
okay.
So, I mean, I can go ahead and talk about mine, if you want to, like, fix it for me, because, once it gets into
What's
the
our
harder skills, I'm a little less good there, I guess you would say, but I don't know.
It's all good. It's all good. All right. So
So,
what are our skills for that day?
reviewing and develop. Oh wait, I wrote. I wrote down reviewing and developing spike and then setting to a target. So it's got to be something to do with that.
Okay.
I didn't write down the specific things for this one for some reason.
Trying to think of how we can.
Basically, I put for for the instant activity and warm up, have them run around and then blow the whistle and separate them into groups of 3. That way there's 3 of them and they can start literally like one of them bump set spike, the next one like someone else starts bump set spike, and like have them go around and do it a few times so that way each of them gets to try and each of them gets to like practice or show how they spike and stuff like that, and they can kind of help each other and give each other pointers too. I felt like that would just be like a good warm up.
What do you think about bringing back the volley circle and like just for the warm up and bring in like make it a one progression game only, and that like I'm trying to incorporate the setting part, like setting to one direction. Start the ball off of one person, and the only movement you're allowed to do is set, and you have to set. You can't set across. Like you can just give them like a basic rule, like you can't set across. You have to set. Well, I mean, I don't. You could set across really if you want.
You need to re-invite
Yeah,
Nicole.
I saw that.
I guess her phone died.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I think I
that's
saw
what
her
she
pop
said.
off.
She just texted in. She did her phone died.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So what were you like? What were you saying about the spike? Like, I'm sorry. I was like I got it, but like what was the game for it?
Oh, like just in groups of 3, like so like just I guess a very small volley circle, have them practice the bump set spike just so that way they're used to knowing like when it's supposed to come or like when's the best time for it to come, and like so like person 1 bumps and then they'll be set spike, person 2 next will bump set spike, and then person 3 bump set spike, so that way they're still going around and all of them are practicing all of the skills, but they all can also like watch each other spike, and they can kind of like help each other out if they need help, or like we can go to them and see like who's in need of help and stuff like that. I feel like it was just like a way to get them in a smaller group to kind of really notice who needs help with the spike, because it says like reviewing and developing it. So
Okay. Here's what we can do. For that, like you can actually like we can bring in not the whistle mixer, but you can do like okay, I want everybody to break up in groups of 3 when I say go, and then you break it into groups of 3, or like you can bring that even to toe to toe. Like I want you toe to toe to 2 other people besides you, and then when they get into wherever like the 3 pairs, you can do it like this. Like okay, I want um first person, like one person raise their hand, and then one person in the group raises their hand, and another person on the knee, and another person on the toe, or something like that. And then like, okay, whoever raised their hand has bumped for the first round. Whoever put it on their knee has set for the first round, and whoever has, the other has spiked. And then bring progressions back in there and say like, all right, if you're second progression and you had your hand on your head, I want you to set, and change it up. That way we can bring, and then during that time, you can have somewhat of a small assessment, like reviewing what everybody else looks like as they're spiking. Like just basically, like you don't have to pay attention to the bumping and the setting. Just kind of work on the spiking, and we'll spread them out. Like we'll try and spread them out. With at least like 10-foot triangles, you know what I mean?
right.
Then
And I mean,
like
what's gonna happen since there's 2 of us teaching? What's gonna happen is the class is gonna be split in half. So like, instead of us having 26 people to teach or 28 people or however many there are, we're
right,
gonna have like 12 to 14 people per person. So like, we won't have the whole class.
right, and then
Is it
our group space is gonna be a lot easier to manage. So
Right. And I think she said something about like dropping a curtain in the middle of a gym in the gym. So that way, like, we have half, or like I'll have half and you'll have half, and we won't
Well,
even be able to see what's going on.
if that happens, perfect. Like that would
Right.
be great because like what we can do is just make sure that like you're doing the exact same as I'm doing in general, and
Right.
like I mean, as long as we make sure those same skills come out the same, like it's all good. We just got to make sure that like we got to make sure that we're all on the same page with technique.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Was that your? I'm sorry, Liz. Was that your? That was your instant activity?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Just making
Alright,
sure.
and then so, my intro, I just put like have them run around again, split them in half, and then like the halves will be teams. Each team gets on a line, and basically you like run, just like basically start running drills about like practicing setting to people at an angle. So like if we have them all lined up cat a corner to each other, like they can set to each other, or like have them set at an angle, the next person spike it. Like basically just going through like that to hit both of the focuses, and then since they like go hand in hand, like you set then you spike, it'll just be easier to do them all together, kind of like that.
That sounds.
And fitness
All right, what's
component.
next?
Fitness component would just, I mean, like, are there more fitness components other than heart rate and step count? Like, I don't want to put that for everything, but I feel like those would be very important.
I mean, we have to buy a pedometer, so I feel like we should definitely include step count because I don't want to waste the $5 that people are going to have to buy the step count. So I feel like we should definitely incorporate step count a lot.
Yeah, but I
Right.
also I agree with you on the always doing like warm up laps, because remember she also said that a key component would be conditioning. And
Right.
Yeah.
you always want to keep conditioning as part of a practice routine. The more time you
Right.
spend running to drills and going, keeping it fast paced, the less time you have to run suicides at the end of practice.
Yeah. Gotcha. And then so assessment for that one would be
like I wrote lineup and everyone take a turn, like just have them all line up in one line, and maybe have like one person off to the side who sets the ball, and then they jump up and or like have them in two lines. One line is going to set the ball, the second line is going to spike it, and then whoever spiked it that time is going to set it for the other person to spike. That way we can like watch specifically each person do that, and we can kind of like fine tune the skill or give them a tip if they need it. And it'll go like, I mean, the other people have to be like standing there in line, obviously, but it won't have like, they won't be standing there for very long because the line will move quickly if we do like two at a time and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
a
like,
good idea because my day is butterfly drills the next day, so it's kind of along those lines of just people just constantly moving, like bumping, setting, and then spiking, and then like it's just going to keep going. So for yours, that would be awesome if you did that because it would get them in that mindset of like moving and getting drills done.
and
Right.
we'll bring them into pairs for the assessment with you, Liz, because like you said, like we'll have one person setting and then like one person spiking, and they can switch. Like we can have one line where the number one person sets the entire time, and then we can split. Like we can have another line to where the number two person always sets. You know what I mean? And then
Right.
like what you could do is when you finish out line one, you go into line two, and then like we can have it this way, like I'll stand on one of the lines and you'll stand in the other, and we'll just constantly be there with a ball cart, toss the ball, let them set and spike, and we'll stand in front of where their spike is. That way we can keep rotation of balls.
Right. That way, like if you're better at teaching a spike, you can constantly teach the spike line, and I can constantly be teaching the set line. We're both still teaching that long time, but we're getting the best out of it.
Right.
So that's actually a really
Like what?
good idea.
Or yeah, actually, for the assessment part, what we can do is like maybe line one, you're basing your line off of like you're basically assessing setting for the day, and I'll be in my line assessing spiking. That way, but like we won't state it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
we'll just kind of like walk off to the other side. I'm gonna have to invite Alexa again. She
Hey,
just
that's a great
hopped off.
idea, though, Cody. Cody, that's a great idea. That's a great use of maximizing the drill for an assessment.
Thank you. Thank
Right.
you.
Especially because
Also,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go.
I forgot, so go ahead.
So we're teaching two different, like half of the class. But are we teaching? So I'm going to be teaching whatever one of my days bump set, and then you're going to teach the other person's going to teach the overhead serve and spike, or am I going to teach like bump set to both of the classes? I'm
What do
confused.
you
Like,
mean?
so I'm not going to be teaching the first half to both of the sections of the, because she
Yeah,
said that to split
yeah,
them both, correct?
Well,
yeah.
she
You
said
are
that
gonna
we
be
could do
teaching.
either or. Like she said that if there's say there's a day like me and Cody when we have to teach spiking and setting to a target that day, if he's better at
Mm-hmm.
one, he can teach that one to like each half. Or
So he would teach
if we're
spike, and then
both
you would teach setting a target.
right, and we would just like switch sides whenever halfway through the class. Or if we're
Okay.
comfortable, or like if we're both comfortable with the whole lesson, then we can just stay on our sides
Right.
with our teams the whole day and teach the whole lesson. Like it
Okay.
doesn't necessarily have to be that we only teach one skill. We can teach all the skills if we're comfortable with it. She said it just would
Okay.
depend on what we decided together.
And
Okay.
I think we should be able to both teach the same skill at the same time, because like I'm gonna make it very very clear on like what it should be like, and so will Miss Connie. You know what I mean? Like there's never gonna be
Right.
a point to where no one like there should be a point to where you don't have an idea of what it should look like. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like
I like the idea. Like I like the idea of like me and Cody teaching the same full lesson on different sides of the court, and then by the time like when it comes time for the assessment, mesh it together. Just because I feel like it's easier for the assessment in that one case, but like as far as teaching the whole lesson, I would rather teach like the whole lesson than just teach half of it twice, you know?
right.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotcha. It's just that if we want to teach the whole lesson ourselves, we would just teach our half of the class, and then we come together during the assessment.
Well,
And
it
you don't have to come together during the
depends.
assessment.
No, I'm not like that's a great idea.
Right.
But if we weren't, we'd have to teach throughout the whole thing and do the closure with our half of the class, and then that
Right,
would be
like
it.
if
So
you
we don't have to
choose to
switch
teach the
halfway
whole lesson,
through.
you're never gonna switch halfway through if you don't want to.
Right, and
Okay.
if you kind of like, are you saying in terms of like you want to grade the people you've been with the entire time? Is that what you were thinking? Like of
I'm
assessing?
just trying to make sure that I don't miss anything. So if I have 3 lessons that I have to teach in one day, I don't want to have to teach one and a half the lessons and then maybe miss some parts of it whenever I switch over to the other one, if you know what I mean.
Okay, no,
Right.
okay, like, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. All right, no, like,
So if I teach my whole half of the class, I actually like that a lot better, that I'll teach my half of the class all of my lessons, and then during the assessment we come together and we do like group, like whatever we were planning on doing with our individual groups, break them up into certain smaller groups, and they all do it together.
Right.
it should
And
come back.
I like
It
the
should come
idea of
back
only
again.
teaching half of the class.
Wait,
I
what?
like the idea of only teaching half of the class because it's a smaller group of people, so I can like kind of focus on it more, especially as a beginning coach. And stuff.
Right. Yeah,
And
I
helps you
gotcha.
learn, and
Cool.
it helps you learn your people better because you have less people to learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You don't have to keep an eye on the entire class and
Right,
maybe
but
miss a couple.
everything at the end of the class when both groups come together should look the same. Like
Yeah,
everything, like everybody should have the right idea, the same
right,
idea.
right. So, um, that's whenever it comes down to like James, whenever you want to change down the lessons. I understand what you're saying. I just feel like if you teach them one thing and somebody else teaches something else, when they come together, they might be a little lost. Um,
I be
so,
at the end of the day, we all teaching the same skill. I understand what you're
Right,
saying.
right,
I mean,
right.
because at the end of the day, like I said, we all teaching the same thing. They're gonna have a general knowledge of everything. Some are gonna
Hmm.
look better at it than others. It's just with I just like I said, I just maybe I misheard what she said, but like I
No,
said,
I
I
mean, no, I heard it. I heard what you heard about her saying that you can change it up. Um, I just, I don't know.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to cause any problems for
No,
anyone
I don't.
or
No.
mess up a lesson plan or anything like that.
Um, what was I gonna say?
Right, and I mean,
I don't know.
like me and James that want are both teaching that day, so like we're gonna have separate lesson plans. We're gonna have separate people, so I feel like as long as we're still hitting on the same things, we can teach them completely different ways, completely backwards.
Right, 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 right. Just as long as you get like bumping and setting, if those are somewheres in your lesson for that day, I feel like if those are touched on, then that's perfect.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
So,
What's
y'all
next?
want to start on day 5?
Yeah. Okay. So that's I think Alexa and I again. It's spiking and setting, and then butterfly drills. Um, so the butterfly drills were what I was talking about whenever when Liz was talking about her other things, like so once the person serves over the court, over the net, so at this point they're going to have to start serving over the net to somebody that's going to bump it to the person that's going to be standing where the setter should be. Um, so that I think the warm-up should just be a bump set spike drill, just get that started because that's what they're going to have to do later on in the day. Um, so um, at this point they need to be serving over the net, like I said, so um, I really
I
didn't
got,
write that much.
I got an idea for that part.
Okay.
Like you're saying, like what you can do actually, with that whole drill is like have one person start out as the server, then another
Mhm.
person start out as like a back row, like a passer, and
Mhm.
then have another person be the target slash setter, and then have another person like this is how you could do it. You can have two well, that's a little
Because
complex.
that's how my thing showed me. So that would be the server, the bump, and then
Yeah,
the setter, and then
that's actually exactly where I was gonna go, but I didn't know if I wanted to go there because it might be a little scattered. But since you got it, I'm all for it. So what we'll
and
do,
then
like you
that person would just go there. That person would go there, and that person would go
check
to
this.
there. I think,
No, yeah, exactly. Like you would have
or
the setter, or like you would have whoever's the target position, the setter,
target.
set the ball like as the ball comes off the pass, have them set it back to the server. You know what I'm saying? The server on their side. That way, it gives them an idea of direction, how to push the ball that way, and it gets a movement and a rotation going. You know what I'm saying?
So this person's gonna serve. This person's gonna bump it. This person's gonna set it over.
No, 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 no. It's gonna set it to the same, like to the server on the same side as them. So they're gonna go. It's gonna go across the
Oh,
net
to them.
to the passer, to the setter, and then stay on that same side of the net back to the
So it's
server.
gonna go there.
Right. It's just so you have the rotation of the ball and it keeps moving. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
and then, but like when I'm trying to think, um, I'm trying to stop chaos from happening. So I'm trying to think whether or not we should have a stop after every time the ball is set. You know what I mean? So it's not
Yeah.
like balls are constantly just
Well,
flying because like it's gonna happen that one side of the drill is going way faster than the other, or everybody's great at the passing part, but no one can quite get the ball to the server. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna find, but like I don't know whether I want to correct it now or wait till I see it and then correct
Right. I
That
feel
might be
like
one of those things that you have to wait to see.
it. Yeah.
yeah, because the thing that it said is spike set and then butterfly drills. I don't know if she wants us to modify the butterfly drills. I don't know if this is the correct butterfly drill, whatever. But I feel like after we split our teams into two, it'll be like 12 people each. So you're
Mhm.
gonna have 6 people playing at a time. So I don't feel like it's gonna be people just standing around um,
That's
like you
even
would
better.
just like
Like, that's
bumping
all
to
right.
them.
That's perfect. Now that you're saying it like that, because like what we can have is we can have like there should like we can have a regulation of it. There should only be 2 extra people in every line. If it's in that
Right.
case, if we were to have 12 people split, like if we were to have 2 groups of 12, there should only be 2 people in every line that there is.
And that's the maximum amount of people
Well,
because we have
actually,
26 people in the class. There's 2 coaches, so there's a maximum of 24 athletes. So that's the most people that can be playing at a time
right.
on each court.
But actually, it would be 1 person on each line because there would be 6 lines in technicality because it would cross one side of the net.
Yeah.
But with that being said, that's going to stop the chaos because I just thought about it. It's going to stop the chaos because the biggest chaos is going to be getting the ball back to the server. But with
Yeah.
that 1 extra person standing in line, they can be ready for the ball to come and catch the ball instead of the server having to worry, and then that way it fluctuates.
Okay.
You know?
It's just we're just gonna have to teach this to them quickly because we don't have that much time. I feel like, and I feel like Miss Connie is gonna want us to teach it in the first 3 minutes of, and I feel like it's gonna be chaotic in their minds. But once we start to show them, I feel like it'll be better.
Yeah, like we could we could just have a small demonstration. Using one of someone who's on our side. Acting.
Alexa and I that are right. So Alexa and I that are teaching that day, she and I can be like, "Oh, Cody, can you please come help us?"
Perfect. Exactly.
Right, and that's
catch the ball or whatever.
Said for us to do yesterday. That was like one of the things that she said. If we need a demonstration, for us to use one of the coaches, not someone who doesn't know.
Yeah.
Right. So now that we're talking about this, on day 5, I'm gonna come pick one of y'all to come and help us demonstrate. Okay.
Right, and
just putting it out there.
Never mind. So.
Good.
I was thinking, well, you're gonna have to have another volunteer because you're gonna have to have someone to serve the ball over. So it's gonna take a 4th person. You know what I mean?
There's one person that serves, one person that bumps it, and then the other person, the setter, is gonna be the catcher. They're gonna catch the ball.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Fitness component for that day is definitely going to be step count because they're going to be running around a lot. And then assessment will be how many successful catches on the butterfly drill. So we'll split them into, I guess it'll be like a whole team effort. So each team on both sides.
Or you can have a coach on one side, and they can, every time the ball is successfully put, they go 1, or, they'll just hold their hand to the side and count in their hand or something.
Yeah.
And then at the end, hey, this side won, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Right. Because when I was thinking about doing, so we split the whole class into 2, and we're going to split each class into 2, but I think it'll be a little bit chaotic because, hang on, I'll show y'all. If we do this side as a team and this side as a team, this person's going to have to run either this way or underneath to get back to stay on their own side. So I don't think you can do 2 teams on this thing is what I'm trying to say. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it should be fine for them to run underneath the net because they can run directly at the server because in theory the ball should be out of their way. The ball shouldn't be coming directly out of the ball should be going over the net.
And also, whenever they catch it, they can just walk it back to them instead of throwing it at them. You know what I mean?
You talking about at the beginning of the drill?
So oh, that was bad. When they serve, they're gonna bump it, and then they're gonna catch it, and they're gonna walk it back to them, and they're gonna keep doing that. Because they're never gonna, it's not gonna keep volleying or rally or whatever. They're gonna catch it at this point and then bring it back to the server, and the server's gonna go here. They're gonna go here, and vice they're just gonna keep moving.
Is that for when you want to assess?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now I'm on page. Because at first I was like, wait a second. All right, but now.
Yeah. Sorry. Just the assessment, just to see if they can keep it going. We'll keep how many catches they can actually do.
Okay. Yes.
And then closures, just stretch with questions again. Yep. Alexa, did you have any input on any of that? Did you?
The way the butterfly drill I found, it's whoever sets, they moved to the opposite side of
Yeah,
the
okay.
set.
So that's they went. Let me try to see this again.
Or
So the last catch it would go here. So they start here,
Yeah.
they would go here. Yeah. That's what I thought too. I wasn't quite sure. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. We can do either both the split groups against each other or whatever you want to do that day. I mean, it's fine.
Okay.
And I mean, y'all can fine tune that too whenever you're doing that
Right.
lesson plan.
Like if everybody actually shows up that day too, it's going to be different too. So we can we're probably going to have to assess that whenever we see how many people show up.
All right, and especially, I mean, that's a Friday actually. So how you said you could get Cody to help you. Cody won't be there that day.
Well, it depends. It depends because what Friday is that supposed to be?
September
16th.
16th.
Let's see. What's that? Can y'all still see me right now?
Yep.
That's crazy. Let's see. You said it's September 16th?
Yeah, 16th.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be out of town.
Mother. What is happening?
Birmingham, Alabama.
Wonderful.
Shit.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound that great, huh?
Work.
Alright, so what else? We have day 6 left, right?
Day 6 is next, yeah.
Wait, how many days? We have 9 days in total, right?
Well,
Yeah.
we have 10 days because, I mean, the 10th day is the game, and we kind of just need to talk about who wants to coach that day and who wants to do what that day because
I'm
we
cool
have
with
to
coaching.
actually have a plan for that. But, I mean, that won't take us long to go through.
I want to play.
I'm cool with coaching because, like, that. I mean, I don't know. That's fine with me. Like,
Right. I'm cool with either one. I'll coach if that's.
and we'll see. Like, we'll see how it plays out further along. Like, as we see skill coming through. Like, if our skill is lacking hard and like it is very evident that this game is going to be very, stop here, stop here, stop here because error after error after error is happening, then us, like, whoever is best out of us will play, and then whoever is not, you know what I'm saying,
like whoever's better at playing rather than
like we're all gonna know it. We're all gonna know it by the time the championship game comes. But like you were saying, whoever is better at playing it, if that happens, like if our teams never quite grasp the skills as
Right.
we want them to, then I'll step in and I'll play or something like that. But as far as I'm concerned, like, I'm cool with coaching unless y'all want me to play.
Well, and I mean, by that day, we'll all have our 3 days of teaching. Like, we'll all have done our 3 days. So we could even start out with, like, I don't know if y'all want to play just a game or if y'all want to do, like, a whole match or, like, a tournament or anything like that. But, like,
We can do, like, best
start
on
off with, like, 2 of us coaching, and then next game we switch, 2 more people coaching, next game we switch. Like, we could do that, too.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I'm cool with that too. And like when we do that, would have to make sure that we can fit it into a class period. We probably break the sets down into like sets of 10 instead of 25.
Right.
And then
Nice.
we'll have to make sure that that's okay first, and then.
I'm sure that it is. I'm sure she'll be fine with it if we just
Right.
tell her why we're doing it that way.
Are you eating a brownie right now?
I'm eating a brownie bretto.
It
It's
looks delicious.
I know.
It looks
I'm thinking the
delicious.
same, James. I'm over here starving.
I haven't, I haven't
Sorry,
eaten
I just
dinner.
had to move seats because a frog just started crawling on my wall and it scared me.
Ew.
Oh, I thought you said on you. I was like, no.
Okay.
All right, so
There we go.
what else? We need to talk about day. Wait, okay, so Miss Connie's teaching how many days?
2.
2 days. The first 2 days.
So we have 7 days on our own, correct?
No, we
I
have,
didn't hear you.
No.
we didn't count her days.
We have 9 days.
Yeah.
9
Right.
days that we teach. The 10th day is our volleyball games.
But she's teaching 2 of our days, correct?
She
The
teaches
first
2 days,
First 2, the 2
and then we
pre-days.
teach 9 after that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so there's 11 in total.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So, day 6 is Cody and James.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Wait,
Hey.
who's that?
Hey,
Who was that?
Cody and James.
Okay.
Yeah, it's me and you, Cody. It's blocking and the defensive rotations, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I was really gonna lean on your knowledge when it comes to the whole
Rotation, because on that, I mean, I looked up some stuff on it, but that's like Chinese math to me.
Dude, all right, let me
Now
let you.
the blocking, for the warm up, what I wrote down was, if I'm not mistaken, it was squat jumps to simulate the actual activity of going up to try to block a ball, and some jumping jacks also to help out with the cardio with it.
Duff can also do like so everybody goes like along the wall and
I
like try to
can't hear
touch a certain
anything.
line on the wall.
Yeah. Like Nicole just said that to work. All right, it's very important when you're working on blocking that you come up and you come right back down, because if not, that's where breaking ankles and stepping on other people's feet comes to play. And I knew one of these 100-pound girls would not like big old Rob stepping on one of their feet. So we'll work on what we can do for the warm up is we'll line them up either along the wall, or we can start them out like you said, either doing jumping jacks or something like that,
Right.
just to get them in the motion. Any type of jumping is going to get their heart rate going. Like if you're jumping around consistently, their heart rate's going. So we don't have to worry about that's there right there. And as a game, like if you want, when it comes to a game, like we can go. We'll ask Miss Connie if I can tape some marks on the wall, and as a game, we can see who can jump from a standing base like this, and do the squat, and let's see who can put it where. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
Hold on, 1 second. So, yeah, you want to see what it is? It's like me and I don't know, 6 other people. Okay. Hold up. Roommates are starting to get curious. All right.
Yeah, I got kicked out of my bedroom.
Oh god. Okay, so I thought you were talking to me.
Me?
Wait, where was I? I lost where I was at.
You were talking about putting tape and jumping up and touching the tape.
Yeah, it's a game.
Right.
From a standing base.
Look, we can actually use the game for assessment. Like we can bring that into assessment.
That's what I was thinking.
What was the other skill that we had besides blocking? Was rotation.
Rotation order and advanced rotation order. I don't have the book yet, so I can't look that up for you guys. I don't know what she means by advanced rotation order.
I mean, I have the book if you guys want to know what it says.
All right, here's what we'll do. I'm gonna study up rotation a lot because, like you said, James, it is rocket science, and it can change at any point, and there are thousands of different rules upon rotation. So I will brush up on it and get as good as I possibly can with it, and then I'll relay the information back to you because I'm still working on rotation myself. But when it comes
Okay.
to basic rotation, what it's you have 6 positions on the court.
Okay.
Position 1 is where the server starts. Position 2 goes in front of where the server is on the net. Position 3 is the next position to the right of that, or to the left, like it's going into the middle of the court. And then position 4 would be that corner position on the net, the other corner position. Position 5, like so, what you do, like it goes like this. If this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and this is 6. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and then they
You talking
have.
about that? Is that what you're saying?
Wait, what?
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, what
Crap.
up, James?
Wait, bring it in closer on yours.
Like that?
Like Nicole, like, you gotta talk so I can see a big screen.
What?
There we go.
What? Click the
Talk.
name, and so you can see it. Click my name.
Okay, never mind. You're right. I just had to make sure that was correct. But yeah, that's basic rotation right there.
And so you just go this
when
way.
it comes, yeah, you're always
Hey, I was gonna ask you about that anyway, Cody, because like I said, when I was looking at that stuff, I was like you said, it can change under 1,000 different situations and it can be ran a million different
right
ways. I was gonna ask you how you
because
remembered all that shit.
dude, it's really just kind of you take it as it goes. Like it's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh wait, that is a rule. Okay, like and you you get someone else's point. Like that's how it goes. But basically, like it can change based on the person. Like the rotation can change from where the server is, and the server can be number 1, and then it can change to where the libero's number 1 or the setter's number 1. And it's like then when that starts happening, then it's where it gets confusing. That's where it comes into the advanced part, which I'm gonna have to look at really hard to make sure that I'm correct on.
Right.
But basically, what we could do for like for a game or for like that, like a little drill. We'll basically put 6 people on a court and
Okay.
don't tell them the positions at all. Like don't tell them until they're in a random position, and then like I really wonder if she'll let me like tape out a chord, because if I can tape out a chord, I can teach it 20 times better. Because when that happens, if I can tape out a chord, I can touch up on what's going to be a little more advanced, which is zoning when it comes into defense, as in like if you're in zone 1, this whole perimeter is yours. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Right.
if not tape it, she might let you lay down jump ropes.
That would even like anything would be cool just to show guidelines and stuff of zones.
Right.
But
And
like
I
what
feel
we
like
can
the jump
do
ropes would
is
be
like
easier to pick up too.
yeah. Or what like we can teach them like really quickly the places on the court, and then split like put them in a line, and then go down and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then everybody remember your number, and then
Right.
go to your mark on the court. When they get there, start a game out. We'll bring in setting again, but we'll bring in directional setting and have them set. Like I'll call out one coach will be on one court, one coach will be on the other. Like the coach will just say random numbers. Like it'll be like I'll just say like 2, 6, 4, 3, and as the ball goes around, they have to put it into the next position, helping them learn certain rotations and helping them learning the places. And then like what we'll do is like, okay, if you were number 1, you're number 4 now. Go to your
Right.
spot. And then like that's where
Yeah.
we're in rotations and stuff. And then we'll always like rotations is always counterclockwise. It's always like it'll always be going like this. The server will always go forward, and then from forward Actually, I don't
It'll
even know
always be
because that's what's
clockwise.
confusing. You can serve on both sides of the court. Oh man, I gotta touch up on that. I'm gonna clean that up right there. But yeah, that's basically what we'll do for the game, and then assessing them. Like we'll um for assessment. Actually, what we can do is we can practice serving, and then have them serve into certain rotations. You know what I mean? As in
Wait,
like,
say it again. Wait, you was
or
breaking
maybe
up
not
there.
even serving, but like just easy tips. Like I want you to tip the ball into the floor.
Okay. I see what
Wait,
you're
what's
saying.
that?
I'm not saying you was breaking up. Could you repeat what you said? But I'm getting the gist of
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah. Like what we can do for the assessment is incorporate tipping again, and show them like, hey, I want you to tip into the 4. I want you to tip into the 6. I want you to tip into the 3 spot, and then
Gotcha.
have them stand on one side of the net and just basically like I'll toss a ball to them and they here, wherever, you know.
I got you.
So how's that sound so far?
Sounds good, dude.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. All right, and day 7 or day 8?
Day 7
Yeah.
is.
Me and Cody is day 7. I didn't really get to put anything down for that one just because it was a little confusing to me. Just because. Do
Well,
you have
okay,
the
so day
calendar?
7 is take offense and ball control. So,
Wait, what
Cody,
offense?
take offense.
All right, I'm gonna have to read up on that. Taking control of the ball is more like
Ball
that's where
control.
you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to read up on that too because that could even mean like you controlling where the ball goes or like you controlling the play. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
I
have to
feel
see.
like it would be you controlling the play because it's like offense. So I mean,
Right. See that's what's throwing me off is the fact that offense is still in that lesson because
right,
like it could be like you controlling the ball literally like where are you gonna bring the ball next, or it can mean what are you gonna do with the play.
right.
So I'm gonna read up on that and talk to her with that. If it comes into an offensive standpoint where you're having to learn like where to go, that's where I'll bring in different hits. That's where I'll bring in the 6-2 offense and start putting in outsides and middles and then back row attacks also. And I'll create a game out of that.
Okay, so for the block plan
Basically,
that's due tomorrow, what can we put on that? Um, I mean,
okay. Let's put.
the warm up
All right. What's
just bumping the ball up in the air. I mean,
Or like
ball control.
take from what happened on day 6, and like so if we're doing ball control, we can practice like bumping or setting or spiking or anything like that into like we can do that into certain positions as like their warm up, like have them run around, separate into like 2 groups, and have them try to hit into positions.
Or we could. I was thinking something like this. Like we can have them separate into groups of 4, and then have them get into squares in that 4. And while they're in there, just basically like have them either like in place jogging or like doing little small jumps. And then when the ball comes their way, they stop, set it to another person. And if the ball's not with you, you're kind of running. You know what I'm saying? Like you're kind of
Right.
doing something. Just keep your body active. Um, and then, y'all, what do you think about that?
That actually sounds good.
Okay, so let's do, like, you can say, like,
Active until
4-person
ball
setting
comes to
drill.
you.
Yeah, like 4-person setting drill, active until the ball gets to you.
Right. Okay.
And
And then
we'll expand on that in lesson plans.
for the intro,
And
Oh, for the intro, like what I'll do is I'll introduce like the different locations of hits. I'll bring in the 60 system, which will be hits 1 through 8, and that'll be um, well, we'll bring it in 6 for now because we don't have anybody that can set a tempo ball or set a quick ball or a high ball or anything like that. So what we'll do is I'll bring in one that like we'll do number 1, or we'll do it this way. We'll do number 6 is the back set, which will be like the setter putting the ball like behind them into a cross outside hitter, and then we'll do no, hold on. We're gonna just do 1, 2, 3. 3 would be the back set, 2 would be middle, and then 1 would be a cross court set, like a cross court forward setting. And then we'll bring in the next 3 as A, B, and C as the back row attacks. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm kind of confused.
And I'll teach them like.
But if
just,
you can explain
like,
it in like 3 or 4 minutes during that day, good.
Right.
Yeah, no, I can. Like that's not gonna take much.
Right.
So
So,
that's your
what do we
intro,
write for
you
the
said?
intro?
Right. So just
Um,
ball control drills. I mean, and you can elaborate it on your lesson plan.
say like let's say something. I'm trying to think how I want to say it. You can say bringing in names of hits, or like you could say like labeling attacks, something like that.
I'm sorry, I can't hear anything. What?
We could say like,
What is happening?
Dave, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Are you eating chips or
It's all
something?
good.
I didn't hear you.
It's all good. It's all good. Let's do. You can do like labeling attacks, naming hits,
Okay,
position hitting, something like that.
Okay.
cool. And so
And
the
then-
fitness component, you want to do like heart rate or something like that during that time?
Yeah, it'll probably be heart rate and steps throughout the entire day, like throughout the entire all the lessons, because
Yeah.
like I don't know what else I can incorporate.
Right.
Right.
And then
So assessment would be how well they catch on to the intro. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, like we can say like how well they learn the hits, as in like what I'll do is like if we'll talk on communication. We'll assess on communication how well they're calling for the ball, and how well the person who's setting the ball is listening to commands. So we'll
Okay.
assess on communication that day. I think.
okay.
And I think that for all the closures, we should just do stretch with questions. I mean, just so they can stretch and just so they can ask us if they have any questions, or if we can ask them how much they've actually learned throughout that day, you know?
Right.
Right. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay. So day 10
Day
is,
8
oh, sorry.
is you and
Oh, yeah,
Alexa.
day 8. Okay. So it's change direction on set, skill-specific team warm-up, and team defense. Wasn't really sure on any of those things. They all sound
Yeah, I
foreign
was
to me.
like,
Wait, say that again.
So the lessons are change direction on set, skill-specific team warm-up, and team defense. So would you want at this point teach them what'd you say the team defense was, 6-2 or whatever?
No, team defense, we're just going to go really basic and call it perimeter. It's just going to be whatever position you're in, you have this much area. You have from this line to this part of the court.
Okay.
And any ball that ever comes into there is your ball.
Okay, so for the intro,
Changing direction is like you like having the ball. Wait, I don't know. Wait, say what changing direction is. Like
change direction on set. So I'm guessing if the ball's coming from one way and you need to set it the other way.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
guessing.
So like, say the ball comes in forward towards the setter, her taking the ball and pushing it back towards where the ball came. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or
So this
to the
is just
side.
changing it from coming this way to go that way. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So what we'll do
Skill
to work on
specific team
that.
warm up.
Wait.
I don't. What
Okay.
is
So skill specific team warm up. That's gonna be basically like when we get into this, we're gonna start grouping people into positions. Like we're gonna say like people like the big tall football players are gonna be our middles because they're
okay?
the biggest people on the court. They're gonna be able to sit there and basically just jump all day, and that's what their job's gonna be.
Okay.
The really quick people that we find, like the girl who plays soccer, I'm not sure of her name, the blonde hair
Mary.
girl, like
Mary.
yeah, she's most likely going to be one of our setters. And
Okay.
we're going to have to find people who are like people who catch it really quickly and get the overhand, like the overhand passing very quickly is going to be the people we group into setters. And then everybody else who can, if they can put the ball forward into the direction that we want off the pass, they're going to be a passer. And like, we're going to start seeing, people, they're going to weed themselves out and show very quickly on who's going to go where. So when it comes to skilled team position warm-ups, like what you do is if that's like say before a football game, you see all the linemen go start from a 3-point position, and then they clash into each other, and that's their start. That's their warm up. And then you see the quarterbacks, throwing a ball all day, all day, all day, working out and getting out of the snap. Well, in
Okay.
volleyball, what we're going to do is the big tall people will bring off to the side on the wall, bring them back into wall jumping, working on coming
Okay.
up and coming straight back down, and then we're gonna bring in like when we do the blocking with me and James, we're gonna teach them how to make an approach during blocking, which means like the ready up. Have y'all ever heard of that?
No.
Okay.
Is it just like
Ready
seeing
up.
where the ball is?
Okay, so ready up is like say if I'm the middle on the net and I have the outside over here on the net like this also, and the ball is about to come over and we're gonna try and block it. There's a system of you getting over there, so that way you don't hurt your player. So it's a 3-step motion. You open your
I
like
have
you would
heard.
open your yeah you would open your base up like this, take one step and then another step, and on that last step you go down and then you come right back up
Yeah.
and you work on getting your arms over the net. That way the ball goes straight down after hitting you, and then you work on not touching the net at all.
Okay.
So when it comes to the warm-ups, they'll basically be doing the exact same drills that we were doing it all over.
Okay.
Get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll just be
So
doing what they're good at.
in reality, their
Yeah.
warm-ups will be something they've already done. Right, exactly. And then like for setting what we can do is there's going to be a little bit of people who can set. I promise you, it's very very hard to get, especially if Miss Connie I don't know how Miss Connie's going to grade on like doubles and stuff, which is like
Right.
if the ball touches your hand twice. I don't know if she will. I highly doubt she will. But if she does, then we're gonna have a very small amount of setters. And if that's the case, what we can do, like when we do setting warm-up drills, is we'll have one person tossing balls, we'll have another person at the place that the setter is setting to, and they'll have a rotation. Toss a ball, catch the ball. Toss a ball, catch the ball. While the person sitting at the position catches the ball, throws it to the passer. Catches the ball, throws it to the passer. And it's a rotation like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that would be the set. What the passers could do is one person throws up a ball and there's 2 lines coming at each other and they pass it back and forth. And that's passing warm up right there.
Right.
So
And I feel like she's not gonna grade very hard on like as far as like doubles with setting, just because it's supposed to be like a 5th to 9th grade class. So like obviously they're not gonna have a perfect set at all whatsoever.
Good point. Good point.
All right. All right. One sec. Hey, one sec. I'm gonna be right back.
I mean, well, y'all weren't finished. I was about to say day 9 is next, and he's not on it, but y'all weren't finished explaining that. So.
I mean, the rest
Oh,
of
it's
our
you and
stuff, I
Alexa.
really didn't
Yeah.
understand what was going on. So the fitness component I put was step count. Assessment, I guess, would be, I don't know the assessment. I mean,
You have any ideas, Alexa?
This is one I was struggling with this one. This took me forever to even figure out like what to even put for like a warm up, like an instant activity, like. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wrote like
So I guess for like,
lots of questions.
Okay. So let's go ahead and like write down for day. Is that 8 or 9?
That was 8.
Okay. Do we have anything down for introduction?
I put the perimeter and then teach the sections. So like running each section, or like just to get I want them to get their blood pumping or whatever. So like jogging and then like sliding each section, because they do have to start sliding to get
Wait,
to.
is that the day that we were just talking about?
Yeah, the change direction on set, specific skill, team warm up, and team defense.
Okay. Okay. Then yeah, that's straight.
But what were you
What's
gonna
next?
say?
Like, what's after introduction? It's
Lesson focus. So the lesson focus is just items to be covered during the day. So it's just us kind of giving like a tidbit of each thing. So like what's team defense, what's skill specific team warm up, and then what's change direction on set.
okay.
The fitness component I put as step count. And then the assessment, I guess, would just be you calling out like a section and then them running to it, I guess, or them
Yeah, like,
showing
well,
what perimeters.
yeah. Okay, yeah. That's yeah. That's straight for that. Because like basically, the only thing I will be able to test is wait, no, we're gonna test on communication. That's what we're gonna test on. I forgot about that. Like we're gonna assess on um we'll assess like shortly when we're doing the position drills, like where I toss a ball in and I tell them, okay, I want you to set that ball to the 4. I want you to set that ball. We'll assess on how well they can get that, and we can assess on changing of directions right there also.
Yeah.
And then what was the other thing?
Skill specific. The last one, the closure. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Totally.
Closure's just stretch with questions again.
Okay. And then
So day 9 is the 26th.
Me and James.
Yep. What did you get for that one? Because I didn't understand that one at all.
Right.
About the roles.
So
Team roles.
Team roles.
Okay. Like team roles. What? Like.
And
it's not like rolling. It's like their role that they play.
Yeah, and I feel like that's gonna be like how he said that they have certain. We're gonna have certain setters, certain whatever. That I feel like that would just kind of be like making sure that each one understands what their role is, or like they understand. Like when it says interchanging positions.
Yeah.
So like understanding that what position they're in, and being able to change, like being able to play all of the positions basically. Like even though we're gonna have setters, we need to make sure that they can somewhat play each position.
No, I get that. I was saying that how do we put that as like how can we incorporate a warm up and slash activities and rules for that specific lesson?
Check.
Right.
All right.
So
Check
like
this out.
an instant activity, like a warm up, just to start off, is again like retouching on bump set spike, in teams of 3, because that's something that I guess every position will need to know, like they'll need to know bump, set, spike, and make sure they do that. And then for like an intro, I just put like review the positions and practice rotations, like practice having each person rotate through each position throughout the day, like throughout the practice.
Right.
And then we can touch up on knowing their roles, because like we can actually assess knowing their roles. You know what I mean? Because what's gonna happen here is, like, by knowing your role, like the role of the setter is the court. They have to know everything that's going on at every point, and they have to be the leader. Like they run the show. The
Right.
passers, on the other hand, they're the bricks that build the whole building. Without the pass, the play could never start, and without the pass going to the setter, the play can never continue.
Right.
Where the middles come in, the middles are the people who get all the credit. The hitters are the creditors. You know, they're the people that you see on the outside. They're the shining glass on the outside of the building that makes it look so pretty, because they're the one finishing the play every time. So that's where the role comes in. It's like knowing who you're going to be. A person who's way more consistent in practice is probably going to be a passer. A person who is like constantly helping other people and motivating people constantly, that's going to be your setters. And the people who are just athletes and constantly doing what you ask them to do are most likely going to be your hitters.
Okay.
Right. And then for a fitness component, I just put like step count definitely, because we're going to have to be teaching, like since we're going to be having to rotate through all the positions and make sure they all kind of understand them, they're going to have taken quite a few steps to get through them. So
Yeah.
Right. I got you.
And they're not going to be doing much of like heart rate. Like they're going to be more like low key, just like walking, not really running. You know?
Right. And then for assessment, I put, like he said, knowing roles. So like just starting them off maybe in like a 2 different teams, group of 6, and watch as they go through. Watch as they like follow through each position and do the rotations, and just make sure that they know what they're supposed to be doing in each spot. And then for closure, like I put review strategies, because the next day's the game. So like review all the strategies and like make sure they don't have any questions, and stretch if they want to.
Yeah. Cool.
And so day 10 is going to be the game.
Yay. Game day.
We can actually all, like, for the warm-up activity, we can all be standing up there doing, something. So, like, what do we want to do as a warm-up activity for the game?
Do you want to just stretch, honestly?
Well, Miss Connie said for us not to stretch in the beginning.
Right.
Right, I remember that now.
We can
Bump
do
set
like
spike drills on each side.
What, Alexa?
we can do dynamic stretching, which is like you can do dynamic stretching before working out.
Yeah, it's like walking high hips and high knees.
Right.
Yeah, we can do that kind of stuff.
Or like we could even, for the warm up, we can bring in this, like, the specified team warm up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh yeah, like you had said, like you had mentioned earlier, like the setters would just go and start setting, not to each other, but along those lines, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or we could do butterfly drills to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could, like that. I mean, that's like we can literally throw in any kind of warm up as long as it's incorporating the 3 types that we need, the 3 skills that we need.
Right.
Like it could be peppering if they want. You know what I mean? Like,
isn't that just peppering like 2 different lines and they just bump set spike to each other, and like once they spike they keep going?
Peppering is like you would separate them into pairs, and then it goes like this. Like if I were to toss the ball to you, just easy toss, you'd pass it to me, I'd set it to you, you'd spike it to me, and then I would pass it, then you would set it, then I would spike it, then you would pass it.
So
and
just
it keeps
one
going. That's
practicing that rally.
Let's do that. For that day. I feel like that would be It's a good.
I mean, that's
start.
pretty advanced too. Like that's bringing in that like it's hard for me to pepper. It really is. Like it gets really hard because like it
Well, I'm
depends
sure they're
on.
not gonna like kill it at each other. Like they're not gonna spike it as hard as they can at each other. I'd hope not. But I mean,
You'd be surprised. You'd be
Probably
surprised.
will. They probably will.
Yeah, most likely.
okay.
Okay. All right. So we have warm up and then what else? I mean, we have the
I mean,
game.
warm up and then the game, and then
Intro.
closure would just be whatever.
We can assess them. We can assess them by like
Watching
actual
play.
statistics. Like if this person
won?
scores, like if you score a point, like you passed. Like if you scored a, like basically what we can do for assessing is kind of just have someone off to the side, maybe like with a clipboard or something, and just like actually assessing it, like actually saying like, did this person show this skill at one point? Yes.
Yeah.
Not?
Okay.
No.
Yeah, that
And it
sounds
could
really
just be a
cool.
yes or a no, like a check or a not a check, and then like
Okay.
that would be the assessment.
Because since they're gonna have to go through all the positions, like we can have their names written down and be like, at some point during this day, did this person set? Did this person at least
Exactly.
attempt to spike? Did this person try to pass? How was this person on
Exactly.
serving?
And like we're not gonna be actually looking like, did the ball go perfectly to the setter?
Right,
Did
but
they
like,
like
did they know
Right.
what to do, when to do it?
Right.
right? Exactly.
They show
Exactly.
requisite knowledge and requisite skill to get the task done.
Exactly.
And then
Alright.
of course fitness.
What else?
Fitness component is gonna be step count and heart rate. And then as a closure, I mean, basically the closure is just gonna be like, yay volleyball. See you next week for soccer.
Yay.
Your team won. Your team didn't. Like,
Right.
Awesome.
We also have to make sure we
Yay.
break up the teams evenly and pay attention to safety
Right.
concerns as well.
Right, we'll be able to do
Yeah,
like, all right,
we
everyone
do.
run around, touch toe to toe. Now raise your hand. Okay, you're on this team. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. What we should also do is the people who aren't coaching throughout the lessons, keep an eye on the people that are around you. That way, you like have a constant knowing of like the skill sets around you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like when it comes to us splitting up the teams, we have an idea of who can do what, who's
Right.
good at doing what, and then we can spread them evenly. That way, one team's not just destroying the other.
Right, and another thing is like those of us who are playing, like the two of us who are going to stand on the outside and coach, we don't have to be the only coach. Those of us who are playing inside that game on that day, we can still be coaching from the inside. Like if you see someone next to you doing something, be like, hey, look, here's a pointer. Just because I feel like that'll give us brownie points for like being able to play and coach at the same time, like being able to notice while we're playing the game.
Yeah, no doubt. Like if you see something wrong with someone's platform, like the ball comes over on a serve and she shanks it to the right, it's probably because one of her arms was uneven because
Right.
her thumbs were crossed. Like it's gonna be so simple down to the basics, and it's gonna make the world to everybody. Like it's gonna be easy.
Right, and then that way they can feel a little more accomplished the next time it comes to them and they've corrected their problem and, you know, they drive the ball where they need it to go. So,
Got
Right.
it.
a lot.
Sweet. All right. So is there anything else?
No, I think that's everything.
Nope, that's everything.
That's it.
All right, y'all stay on the phone. I'm about to stop this broadcast.